Dragonfly, what's going on? Sorry, I was busy. Hey, yeah. Just make sure it's working.
For what?
Let me make sure the volume was working. Look what I did. I put the motherfucking
any money. As impressive as that is, I'm about to show you how you can go on the ultimate free ride yourself. In fact, if you click here right now, I'll show you how you can hit.
You better click right there. Skip that.
Hey, like a gang, hey, so like a down, like a nigga on my chain. Me and you, we ain't the same on the game. Hey, Donald Trump is your president, and if you like it or not, keep the energy you have with Barack. Cause you know the Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my buck. You wanna impeach him? I guess that's what you do when you can't beat him. That need to dead that. And I'm coming through your hood in my red hat. And they say they looking for me, I say where at? Cause it seems like they on high like some scared cats. You can tell the deep state that I said that. Cannon's always on my shirt. They gon' be triggered when I wear that. I exposed all the fakes, now who next? Bryson do not tolerate no disrespect. We went to the White House, they said we got a check. But this truth might make you upset. Donald Trump is your president, and if you like it or not, keep that energy you had with Barack. Cause you know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my block. You wanna impeach him? I guess that's what you do when you can't beat him. That need to dead that. And I'm coming through your hood in my red hat. So like a down, like a nigga on my chain. Me and you, we ain't the same on the game. Hey, Donald Trump is your president, and if you like it or not, keep the energy you had with Barack. Cause you know know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my block. You wanna impeach him? I guess that's what you do when you can't be him. That need to dead that. And I'm coming through your hood in my red hat. And they say they looking for me, I say where? Cause it seem like they all high like some scared cats. You can tell the deep state that I said that. Cannons always on my shirt. They gon' be triggered when I wear that. I exposed all the fakes, now who next? Bryson do not tolerate no disrespect. We went to the White House, they said we got a check, but this truth might make you upset. Donald Trump is your president, if you like it or not. See the energy you had with Barack. Cause you know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my block. You wanna impeach him? I guess that's what you do when you can't be him. That need to dead that. And I'm coming through your hood in my red hat.
When choosing a great shingle for your roof, don't be swayed by the hype. Owens Corning recently put Oak Ridge shingles through rigorous shingle-to-shingle performance tests. The results? In every test, Oak Ridge shingles outperform competitors with wide single-layer nailing zones. It's no wonder it's been the go-to shingle in the industry for over 30 years. Don't be misled by the hype.
You're 100% for Trump?
150,000%.
Mine, nigga.
Who would you be for, Obama? What did he do? I'll wait. You tell me one thing he did.
We some mega boys. We got mega joy. They try to silence us, we make mega noise. We ain't got no time for the beta boys. Say it with a mega voice. Yeah, I'm a mega boy, stomping in the mega hat. Try and take my gun, believe me, I'ma take it back. I know some blacks for Trump, you could call him mega black. Culture vulture on the mega track, I'ma pay him back. Ay, you don't want the beef, we ain't the coward type. And we ain't no Antifa, we know how to fight. I'm a nitty gritty alpha, you a flower type. I'm about that action, you a fraction, you about the hype. Ay, and I'ma serve the boss. My one and only job is to punch you to the cross. You can bend a knee, now I'll make it then. I made a vow, he in the clouds with the power in his hands. And we don't need the luck, forget about Pelosi, Brody, we don't need the truck. I'ma keep it a buck, hop up on the train and get left. I campaign, stay in your lane, I'ma bring it to my death, man. Calvin.
What up, though?
Okay, listen, bro. I need you to talk to the people, but bro, you gotta go easy on them because you know how the snowflakes get, and we don't want to offend you.
Bet. Dripple drip, I just seen, it's a trip scene. Illegals hopping over borders, that's a crime scene. Hold tight, we
We on the coast, it's the Trump train. Americans with the knowledge, all facts, man. Blow steam out they top, she a lumberjack. Oops, I mean, sir, so let me double back. Check the charts, hold them up, I wanna see the stats. Trump got a lot of voters and he looking black. Internet in your pocket, you can search the facts. But you a leotard, you never heard of that. Logic is a virus, you took the vaccine. Got you limping, walking slow, Maxine. You just a soy boy, or you oppressed now? See, I'm a patriot, I got a vest now. Taking bullets from Antifa with my chest out. 7 in my heart, he from the best mouth. Bryson, Bryson, Bryson. I should've known you were gonna wear that hat. Rockin' MAGA, but you black.
And they saying to that MAGA boy, in this world you got two choices, build and destroy. They got a plan, but they take our man and they fill them with soy. They indoctrinating all of our kids, they sit back and enjoy. They got a mission, they enjoy the division. Who's losing, whoever's winning, confusing our men and women to the point where they don't know if they men or if they are women. The which back from next door when they just can't hold they pissing. The pressure, the Olympics, everybody just playing the victim while they in position to control radio, television, making you hate guns so they can do away with them. Then after that they know there's no longer a way to defend them. But I'm a warrior for Christ, I'm saving the vision, persecuted, but nonetheless I made my decision. I fully believe in the word, I guess they made me a Christian. I die behind that, so tell them either way I ain't switching on gang.
On gang. The proof's in the pudding, people. Donald Trump, the first black president. I don't care what nobody said. Black unemployment low, opportunity zones, the list goes on. Come on, man. We some MAGA boys, we got MAGA joy. You try to silence us, we make MAGA noise. And we ain't got no time for the beta boys. Say it with a MAGA voice. Hater, we some MAGA boys. We some MAGA boys, we got MAGA joy. If you try to silence us, we make MAGA noise. And we ain't got no time for the beta boys. Say it with a MAGA voice. Hater, we some MAGA boys.
All the community is messed up. We're all ran by Democrats. Then when you look at the places that run by Republicans, it's nice, it's clean, people are living, they got jobs. But then when you look at look what the Democrats did, AOC took away $20,000 in New York City. That's 20,000 people that could have been out in the streets, 20,000 people that would be able to support their family. Why would you take that opportunity away? When I tell people, if somebody cares about you, they want to put you in a position not to need them.
That was Joe Biden. Still need to lock up Hillary Rodham. Twitter and Instagram, I know they watching. MAGA once a y'all, so you know I'm bobbing. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. 2 ain't crazy, so you know I got it in impeachment bill. Now I come on the virus. MAGA gang, CAG gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang. LGBT try to get me canceled. Know when you go against the grain, they ban you. You gotta follow the line, well, that's what they demand you. If you don't like me, then you better change the channel. But wait, don't listen to me, just watch CNN and it's all good. Let them tell you about how Bill Gates' father basically ran Planned Parenthood. Or tell you about a pedophilia going on in Hollywood. Or tell you how it's all connected. Wait, did you really think they would? Hold on, ooh, bet you can't do it like me. Too real, so the blue tails on RT. I don't do this for money, I do it for free. And I do it for you, cause they do it for me. Wait, start a beat real quick. Hold on, let me get them. Somebody gotta tell the truth. Trans women ain't real women. Marriage between a man and a woman. And you, if you think different, then you must never read the Bible, or you just a fake Christian. Hey, I'm a bad boy, can't stop, won't stop. 2 ain't crazy, so I got my Glock. Everybody's scared to say the truth, I'm not. Somebody said the song, you can let me stir the pot. They winning with all this deception. We know that life really starts at conception. Abortion is murder, it should be illegal, and I don't think there should be any exceptions. Nope, ooh, I do not bend my beliefs. Really time to separate the real from the weak. TikTok conservatives like livers when they speak. That's why social media trying to ban me. Hey, that's why they trying to stop my speech. Hey, that's why they trying to stop my reach. Hey, they don't want to let me teach. Hey, cause when I do it's preach. MAGA gang, CAG gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang. Ooh. Hey, ooh. Holla, 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 ooh. all time. Look. Hey, 94 crime bill, that was Joe Biden. Still the lock up, Hillary Rodham. Twitter and Instagram, I know they watching. Mango must yell, so you know I'm bobbing. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. 2A crazy, so you know I got it in impeachment field. Now I come coronavirus. MAGA gang, CAG gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang.
Wow.
Yo, good. Hey, try 2020, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they tryna shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rep that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win the election. Easy on my feet, so I'm mega stepping. Tell all the liberals, I'm keeping my weapon. Then make a hat just to show them I'm flexing like ooh, 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 ooh. Start the beat, ayy, I'm gon' keep it simple. They let Planned Parenthood stay open, but said churches weren't essential. And I know it's hard to keep your faith in God. It seems like the world against you, but that word is too official. Like a referee with a whistle. I'm not a victim, cause I am a victim. Not a loser, cause I am a winner. And they say I'm a sellout because they disagree. Call me cool, Uncle Time, but at least I can say I'm free. Go back. Ay, try 2020, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they tryna shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rep that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win the election. Easy on my feet, so I'm mega stepping. Tell all the liberals, I'm keeping my weapon. They make a hat just to show them I'm flexing like ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, try 2020, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they tryna shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rep that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win the election. Easy on my feet, so I'm mega stepping. Tell all the liberals, I'm keeping my weapon. Been making head just to show them I'm flexing like ooh, 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 ooh.
I'm screaming Trump 2020 or Christ 21, cause the way this shit heading, Armageddon finna come. I ain't dumb, I can see the writing on the wall. I ain't talking about the wall by Mexico. No, I'ma let them know. Since you wanna talk about a war, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how Barack and Hillary were all about it. Let's talk about how Obama had them kids in cages first. Oh, let's not, cause when I talk about truth, you get your feelings hurt. Obama wouldn't let him through. Guess he was a racist too, but he can't because he black. No matter what he say or do. And while we on the subject of that fuck, yeah, how come he can go to church, but you won't let the public? Shut the fuck up, where kissing cakes and shit is crazy. When Candace always has to show them that they live in Swayze. Speaking Swayze, Hollywood should got a lot to say about Donald J, but then they plead the fifth when little kids get bored and slaves. I'm getting so tired of the truth being called conspiracy. Bitch, I'll die if I have to, I don't think you hear me. I give a fuck how many fans I lose from this. I'm on a mission, so that come with Judas. Get out, move, bitch. I don't give a flying fuck, word up. Another million views for the dude that they ain't heard of. Why they heard up the masses in the master plan. They had the money, make our country cashless. Half the shit I share on Facebook gets deleted faster than the tweets, at least deleting about the shit they eating. Tell them pedos eat a dick. Think I'm playing if you want. Mama praying for a son, cause the snakes around them that'll happen, draining out the swamp. The fun of media, bitch, the fun of motherfucking media. Never ever watch shit, bang it through your speaker, yeah. All they do is fuel the fire that divide us while these fat checkers hiding what unite us. Man, the time has come to draw a line in the sand. Boy, it's time to be a man, attacking masculinity, so you ain't got the balls to stand. No, I will not retreat, so by mean defeat for America. Kiss goodbye to land of the free. If that little girl sniffing pedo gets into position of a president, it's evident what's next is socialist. And I ain't working all day to give you most of what I'm at. So folks can stay at home and make the same. I make no fucking way. This ain't hard to understand. If you want it, go
so many people risk their lives to get into the state? Why so many people fighting for illegals anyway? If it's so bad, then why aren't you warning them to stay away? So many standards, I'm impressed that you can keep them straight. Especially when I know how bad you waste the thought to keep it straight. It's like I'm over like you women, man, identify as women. Ain't no truth no more, I speak facts, all I get back is opinion. I ain't here to hear your feelings, say that shit for therapy. Cause where I see this country's going bad, and I can clearly see it. So it's Trump 2020, or Christ 21. Cause the way this shit heading, I'm getting finna come. I ain't done, I can see the writing on the wall. And I ain't talking about the war by Mexico. Well, I'ma let them know that Trump 2020, or Christ 21. Cause the way this shit heading, I'm getting finna come. I ain't done, I can see the writing on the wall. And I ain't talking about the war by Mexico. I'ma let them know.
Thanks.
When he speaks, it makes you wonder. He doesn't even know what he wants to say. And we know he likes the girls a whole lot younger. Biden's gonna lose to 45. There's nothing anyone can do. Democrats won't survive. It doesn't really matter who you talk to. A liberal mind you cannot teach them. And junkies dancing, they don't have a clue. I guess they're gonna try another impeachment. Biden's gonna lose to 45. Expect the Democrats to switch him out just in time.
Karen, you're annoyed, you're a big joke, screaming in the store, trying to be a good sheep all day. You got cloth on your face, want a mandate, spreading your fear all over the place and saying, we will mock you. We will mock you. Call me with a trust fund, dumb, crying in the street, gonna defund police someday. You got cloth on your face, it won't stop Mace. Watching you fail brings a smile to my face. We will mock you. Me, man. We will mock you. Biden, you're an old man, con man, pleading with the herd, sniffing hair and groping kids all day. You got cloth on your face, sheltered in place. Now you want Kamala because of her race. We will mock you. Sheeple, we will mock you. Everybody, we will mock you. We will mock you.
Bryson, I love your music, but your comments are a little homophobic, and I'd really appreciate it if you made a song supporting the LGBT community.
I like liberty, I like guns, love my Bible, I like Trump. If the people won't smoke, tell them this ain't what they want. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front. I like liberty, I like guns, love my Bible, I like Trump. If the people won't smoke, tell them this ain't what they want. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front. I can't
go mainstream, I can never be controlled. I can lose everything, but I never sell my soul. Gotta go against God for a little bit of dough. Seen it with my own eyes, if you ask me how I know. It's a point LGBT, or I'm causing division. You might wanna turn my album on, just sit back and listen. And they try to say I switched up, boy, no I didn't. I can spell it out for you if you paying attention. Hey, the L for Liberty, not lesbian. And the G, hey, that's from my favorite weapon. You know the B is for the book that get them blessings. And the T for Trump, you know I'm MAGA stepping. And they try to cancel me like how many times? Weapons formed against me won't prosper, you wasting your time. Hey, why can't I just say what's on my mind? I'ma do it anyway, cause y'all ain't blocking my shine. I like liberty, I like guns, love my Bible, I like Trump. If it's people won't smoke, tell them this ain't what they want. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front. I like liberty, I like guns, love my Bible, I like Trump. If it's people won't smoke, tell them this ain't what they want. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front. Hey, God got my back, homie, I can never front.
Right.
When you get any medium or large drink from Taco Bell, you may find yourself with so much power, maybe too much power. Enter for a chance to win the all-new Xbox Series X, only at Taco Bell.
Like a gang, hey, so like a down, like a on my chain. Me and you be in the same on the game. Hey, Donald Trump is your president, if you like it or not. Keep the energy you had with Barack, cause you know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my block. You wanna impeach him? I guess that's what you do when you can't beat him. That need to dead that. And I'm coming through your hood in my red hat. And they say they looking for me, I say where at? Cause it seem like they all high like some scared cats. You can tell the deep state that I said that. Cannons always on my shirt, they gon' be triggered when I wear that. I exposed all the fakes, now who next? Bryson do not tolerate no disrespect. We went to the White House, they said we gotta check, but this truth might make you upset. Donald Trump is your president, if you like it or not. Keep the energy you had with Barack, cause you know this Trump train don't stop. Tell Beto to please come try to take my block. You wanna impeach him? I guess that's what you do when you can't beat him. That need to dead that. And I'm coming through your hood in my red hat.
you deserve an extra payday. If you click on this ad right now, I'll show you how you can place a simple trade every month.
You're 100% for Trump?
150,000%.
Why, nigga?
Who would you be for, Obama? What did he do? I'll wait. You tell me one thing he did.
We some mega boys, we got mega joy. You try to silence us, we make mega noise. We ain't got no time for the beta boys. Say it with the mega boys. Yeah, I'm a mega boy, stomping in the mega hat. Try and take my gun, believe me, I'ma take it back. I know some blacks for Trump, you can call him mega black. Culture vulture on the mega track, I'ma pay him back. Ay, you don't want the beef, we ain't the coward type. We ain't no Antifa, we know how to fight. I'm a nitty gritty alpha, you a flower type. I'm about that action, you a fraction, you about the hype. Ay, and I'ma serve the boss. My one and only job is to punch you to the cross. You can bend a knee, now I'll make it then. I made a vow, he in the clouds with the power in his hands. And we don't need the luck. Forget about Pelosi, Brody, we don't need the chuck. I'ma keep it a buck. Hop up on the train and get left. I campaign, stay in your lane. I'ma bring it to my death, man. Calvin.
What up, though?
Okay, listen, bro. I need you to talk to the people, but bro, you gotta go easy on them because you know how the snowflakes get, and we don't want to offend them.
Bet. Dripple drip, I just seen it's a trip scene. Illegals hopping over borders, that's a crime scene. Hold tight, we on the coast, it's the Trump train. Americans with the knowledge, all facts, man. Blow steam out they top, she a lumberjack. Oops, I mean, sir, so let me guzzle back. Check the charts, hold them up, I wanna see the stats. Trump got a lot of voters and they looking black. Internet in your pocket, you can
I never did that.
but you a leotard. You never heard of that. Logic is a virus, you took the vaccine. Got you limping, walking slow. Maxine, you just a soy boy. Oh, you oppressed now? See, I'm a patriot. I got a vest now. Taking bullets from Antifa with my chest out. 7 in my heart, he from the best mouth. Bryson. I should've known you were gonna wear that hat. Rockin' MAGA, but you black.
And they saying to that MAGA boy, in this world you got two choices. Build and destroy, they got a plan. Plus they take on man and they fill them with soy. They indoctrinating all of our kids. They sit back and enjoy, they got a mission. They enjoy the division, who's losing, whoever's winning. Confusing our men and women to the point where they don't know if they men or if they are women. Or which bathroom they should go when they just can't hold they pissing. The pressure, the Olympics, everybody just playing the victim. While they in position to control radio, television, making you hate guns so they can do away with them. Then after that they know there's no longer a way to defend them. But I'm a warrior for Christ. I'm saving the vision, persecuted, but nonetheless I made my decision. I fully believe in the word. I guess they made me a Christian. I die behind that. So tell them either way I ain't switching on gang.
On gang. The proof's in the pudding, people. Donald Trump, the first black president. I don't care what nobody say. Black unemployment low, opportunity zones. The list goes on. Come on, man. We some mega boys. We got mega joy. You try to silence us, we make mega noise. And we ain't got no time for the beta boys. Say it with the mega boys. Hater, we some mega boys. We some mega boys. We got mega joy. If you try to silence us, we make mega noise. And we ain't got no time for the beta boys. Say it with the mega boys. Hater, we some mega boys.
All the communities are messed up. We're all ran by Democrats. Then when you look at the places that run by Republicans, it's nice, it's clean, people are living, they got jobs. But then when you look at look what the Democrats did, AOC took away 20,000 jobs in New York City. That's 20,000 people that could have been out in the streets, 20,000 people that would be able to support their family. Why would you take that opportunity away? When I tell people, if somebody cares about you, they want to put you in a position not to need them.
Joe Biden. Still need to lock up Hillary Rodham. Twitter and Instagram, I know they watching. MAGA was a young, so you know I'm bobbing. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. 2 ain't crazy, so you know I got it in impeachment. Failed to hot coronavirus. MAGA gang, CAD gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang. LGBT try to get me canceled. Know when you go against the grain, they ban you. You gotta follow line, well, that's what they demand you. If you don't like me, then you better change the channel. But wait, don't listen to me, just watch CNN and it's all good. Let them tell you about how Bill Gates' father basically ran Planned Parenthood. Or tell you about a pedophilia going on in Hollywood. Or tell you how it's all connected. Wait, did you really think they would? Hold on, ooh, bet you can't do it like me. Too real, so the blue tackle on RT. I don't do this for money, I do it for free. And I do it for you, cause they do it for me. Wait, gotta beat real quick. Hold on, let me get them. Somebody gotta tell the truth. Trans women ain't real women. And marriage between a man and a woman ain't new. If you think different, then you must never read the Bible, or you just a fake Christian. Hey, I'm a bad boy, can't stop, won't stop. 2A crazy, so I got my Glock. Everybody scared to say the truth, I'm not. Somebody said the song, you can let me stir the pot. They winning with all this deception. We know that life really starts at conception. Abortion is murder, it should be illegal, and I don't think there should be any exceptions. No, ooh, I do not bend my beliefs. Really time to separate the real from the weak. TikTok conservatives like liberals when they speak. That's why social media trying to ban me. Hey, that's why they trying to stop my speech. Hey, that's why they trying to stop my reach. Hey, they don't want to let me teach. Hey, cause when I do is preach. MAGA gang, CAD gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang. Ooh. Hey, ooh. Holla, holla, ooh. Hey, ooh, okay, one more time, look. Hey, 94 crime bill, that was Joe Biden. Still need to lock up Hillary Rodham. Twitter and Instagram, I know they watching. MAGA wasn't young, so you know I'm bobbing. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. 2A crazy, so you know I got it in impeachment. Feel now how come coronavirus. MAGA gang, CAD gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang.
Wow.
Yo, man. Hey, Trump 2020, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they trying to shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rep that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win the election. Easy on my feet, so I'm mega stepping. Tell all the liberals I'm keeping my weapon. Been making hatches to show them I'm flexing like ooh, 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 ooh. Start the beat, ayy, I'm gon' keep it simple. They let Planned Parenthood stay open, but said churches were an essential. And I know it's hard to keep your faith in God. It seems like the world against you, but that word is too official. Like a referee with a whistle. I'm not a victim, cause I am a victim. Not a loser, cause I am a winner. And they say I'm a sellout because they disagree. Call me coon, I'm through time, but at least I can say I'm free. Yo, man. Hey, Trump 2020, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they trying to shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rep that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win the election. Easy on my feet, so I'm mega stepping. Tell all the liberals I'm keeping my weapon. Been making hatches to show them I'm flexing like ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, Trump 2020, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they trying to shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rep that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win the election. Easy on my feet, so I'm mega stepping. Tell all the liberals I'm keeping my weapon. Been making hatches to show them I'm flexing like ooh, 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 ooh.
I'm screaming Trump 2020 or Christ 21, cause the way this shit heading, Armageddon finna come. I ain't dumb, I can see the writing on the wall. I ain't talking about the wall by Mexico. No, I'ma let them know. Since you wanna talk about a war, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how Barack and Hillary were all about it. Let's talk about how Obama had them kids
kids in cages first. Oh, let's not, cause when I talk about truth, you get your feelings hurt. Obama wouldn't let him through. Guess he was a racist too, but he can't because he black. No matter what he say or do. And while we on the subject of that fuck yeah, how come he can go to church but you won't let the public? Shut the fuck up, where kissing cages shit is crazy. When Candace Owens has to show them that they live in Swayze. Speaking Swayze, Hollywood should got a lot to say about Donald J, but then they plead the fifth when little kids get bought as slaves. I'm getting so tired of the truth being called conspiracy. Bitch, I die if I have to, I don't think you hear me. I give a fuck how many fans I lose from this. I'm on a mission, so that come with Judas. Get out, move, bitch. I don't give a flying fuck, word up. Another million views for the dude that they ain't heard of. Why they heard up the masses in the master plan. They had the money up, the money make our country cashless. Half the shit I share on Facebook gets deleted faster than the tweets, at least deleting about the shit they eatin'. Tell them pedos eat a dick. Think I'm playing if you want. Mama praying for a son, cause the snakes around him that'll have been draining out the swamp. To fund the media, bitch. To fund the motherfucking media. Never ever watch the shit. Bang it through your speaker, yeah. All they do is fuel the fire that divide us while these fact checkers hiding what unite us. Man, the time has come to draw a line in the sand. Boy, it's time to be a man. Attacking masculinity, so you ain't got the balls to stand. No, I will not retreat. Joe Biden mean defeat for America. Kiss goodbye to the land of the free. If that little girl sniffing pedo gets into position of our president, it's evident what mistakes are socialist. And I ain't working all day to give you most of what I make. So folks can stay at home and make the same. I make no fucking way. This ain't hard to understand. If you want, then go and get it. That's what makes America great, even though they won't. Such a shitty place. Why so many people risk their lives to get into the States? And why so many people fighting for illegals anyway? If it's so bad, then why aren't you warning them to stay away? So many double standards, I'm impressed that you can keep them straight. Especially when I know how bad you waste the thought to keep it straight. It's like I'm over like you women, man, identify as women. Ain't no truth no more, I speak facts, all I get back is opinion. I ain't here to hear your feelings, say that shit for therapy. Cause where I see this country's going bad, and I can clearly see it. So it's Trump 2020, or Christ 21. Cause the way this shit heading, Armageddon finna come. I ain't dumb, I can see the writing on the wall. And I ain't talking about the war by Mexico. Well, I'ma let them know that Trump 2020, or Christ 21. Cause the way this shit heading, Armageddon finna come. I ain't dumb, I can see the writing on the wall. And I ain't talking about the war by Mexico. I'ma let them know.
When he speaks, it makes you wonder. He doesn't even know what he wants to say. And we know he likes the girls a whole lot younger. Biden's gonna lose to 45. There's nothing anyone can do. Democrats won't survive. It doesn't really matter who you talk to. A liberal mind you cannot teach them. And Chuck and Nancy, they don't have a clue. I guess they're gonna try another impeachment. Biden's gonna lose to 45. Expect the Democrats to switch him out just in time.
Karen, you're annoyed, you're a big joke, screaming in the store, trying to be a good sheep all day. You got cloth on your face, want a mandate, spreading your fear all over the place and saying, we will mock you. We will mock you. Call me with a trust fund, dumb, crying in the street, gonna defund police someday. You got cloth on your face, it won't stop Mace. Watching you fail brings a smile to my face. We will mock you. Meet me. We will mock you. Now you want Kamala because of her race. We will mock you. The sheeple. We will mock you. Everybody, we will mock you. We will mock you.
Everyone is freaking out about freaking.
Upgrade to watch videos ad-free, offline, and in the background. Start a free trial of YouTube Premium today.
Bryson, I love your music, but your comments are a little homophobic, and I'd really appreciate it if you made a song supporting the LGBT community.
We're about to run up the score. This video is brought to you by The Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to my channel. Hit that join button so you can join the Tatum Squad. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give this one last push and one last statement. And y'all can mark me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and make a video and say I'm wrong. We are about to run up the doggone score. I want you to understand this very clearly. We're going to run up the score. And I said this in many of my videos, but winning is not good enough. Just beating these people who have no good ideas, who do not like this country, who want to destroy your Second Amendment, and all of the above. Winning against them is a no-brainer. It's like me running over a pee-wee football player. They cannot tackle me. That's not a reward for me to say I cannot be tackled by little 8-year-old kids trying to tackle me. That's not a success. We need to run up the score. We need to outvote them. We need to have more turnout.
I'm good.
We need to be more informed. And tomorrow is the day. Some of y'all have participated in early voting. I have. But for the rest of everybody else, it doesn't matter if you got to sit in line for 10 hours. You sit in line, you vote, you go down ballot, you don't worry about what nobody say, what your mama said, she thought she wanted you to say. You show up and vote. If you've never voted before, if you have not got your stuff lined up, then you need to get it together. It's never too late. Get your stuff together. If you're a registered voter and you thought once or twice that you're not going to show up in this election because you don't know, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you how to vote. Vote Republican all the way down the ballot. All the way down the ballot. Everywhere you see an R, vote, 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 vote. I normally would never say this. I would normally never say this. But we are in unprecedented times, where you got a group of people who are no longer a party. The Democrat Party is no longer a party. It is literally a communist group, a Marxist takeover. They're trying to take over our country. I'm not saying Republicans are perfect, but my God, Marxism, communism, socialism, compared to freedom, it's a no-brainer. Democrats want to put y'all back in chains. Republicans want us to be free. Want you to be able to get up every morning and make your own bed. That's pretty much what it is. If you want to be prosperous, if you want to be successful, if you want to make it in this world, the Republican Party offers you that privilege. These people over here want you to stay down. They want you to stay locked in a mental funk. They want you to believe that all your white brothers and sisters are evil and that slavery is still alive today. This is evilness. Democrats. Freedom. Republicans. Loving God, love our country, believe in saving the unborn, where you have the Second Amendment rights, freedom of speech, no censorship. That's the Republican side. Very clear. Very clear. Your boy Joe, Quid Pro Joe, the Joker been in office for 47 years and have done nothing.
Except
what has he done?
crime bill.
Why is he even? This shouldn't even be competitive. He don't have no resume.
That's all he did.
He's done nothing. The people were already sick of what Barack Obama did. That's why Donald Trump won. And he is nothing but an extension of what everybody said they don't want anymore. We don't want these politicians no more. Feckless politicians that do nothing but they talk a lot. And that's what Joe Biden is. Corrupt. All you gotta do is put his son's name, Hunter Biden, somewhere in the thing, and you're gonna get hits. You're gonna get pictures, videos. I mean, why would you want somebody to be president like that?
Videos you won't like either.
Countries got dirt on their kid like
Trust me, I've seen
that.
some.
Leveraged them into being taken advantage of. And I don't want to hear him say, well, I didn't know. He knew. He knew about it. So he lied. Donald Trump is the answer. That's just, I just want to throw my 2 cents in there. Somebody waking up wondering, how do I vote today? Donald Trump is the answer. Quit listening to people lie to you talking about he's a racist. That man ain't no racist. That man was a racist. I wouldn't vote for him. Nobody would even support him. Nobody. Not even the 8% of black people. And y'all gonna be shocked because it's probably about 25-30% of black people gonna vote for him this time. People are waking up. Don't fall behind. Don't believe the rhetoric. Vote for President Donald J. Trump. It's that simple. Vote for Republicans down ballot. And see how the election turn out. And in 4 years, you can change it up. But for now, it is invaluable for you to vote down ballot, vote for Republicans. Anyway, I done said enough, and enough I have said. I would do this for 3 or 4 more hours, but I want you to watch the rest of my videos. Comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Make sure you make sure you visit the Officer Tatum store. The Officer Tatum store, the link is in the description section. It's where you get all your cool merch. Y'all know what it is. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.
Introducing Allcam MyEye, the most advanced wearable AI for vision impairment.
We gotta get serious for a moment here, guys, and I know some of you don't like my serious videos, so here's the deal. You help get President Trump reelected tomorrow, and then I'll go back to making fun and entertaining videos, and we can all have a good time for the next 4 years. But there's some important things that you and everybody need to know. The entire Democrat strategy to try to win this thing at this point is through the suppressive polls and by demoralizing Trump voters, because they know that they're not going to be able to get very many people who support President Trump or who voted for him in 2016 to actually flip and vote for Joe Biden. But what they're hoping on is that they won't vote at all, that they'll stay home, that they'll be demoralized, that they'll believe the polls, that Trump's going to lose, so why bother even voting anyway? Don't underestimate the Democrat voters. They're very motivated and they're very upset. It's like if you have a horrible meal at a restaurant, you're not just going to pay the bill and go home. You're going to say something about it. You're going to do something about it. You're going to have them cook it again. You're going to get a refund. You're going to go on Yelp and leave a 1-star review. The Democrats are very unhappy customers, and they've been waiting 4 years to do something about it. And they're going to do something about it. And it's up to you to stop them. It's critical that you vote and you motivate 2 other people to vote, and a lot of Republicans didn't vote in the 2018 midterm, and look what happened. We lost the House and barely held on to the Senate, so the Democrats in the House had subpoena power for their bogus investigations, and then they failed at impeaching the president the first time and then did it the second. Do you want Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act amended so that we can legally stop the big tech companies from censoring us? We have to take back the House in order to do it. A lot of cities have early voting, so vote today if you can. Don't wait until the last minute because things happen. The last election, my fuel pump went out. Thankfully, it happened after I voted. Literally, I went to the polls, voted, came out, my truck wouldn't start. I had to call a tow truck and have it towed and get a ride back home. Obviously, if it would have failed just a few miles earlier, it would have been a much bigger problem. But you never know what's going to happen, and especially with social distancing, you may not be able to wait inside your city hall or inside the school gym or wherever you go and vote. You have to wait outside. There could be extra long lines around the block. There could be bad weather. So bring a chair, bring a backpack, bring some water, bring some snacks. Give yourself plenty of time. And don't think just because the polls were wrong last time that they're going to be wrong this time. Don't think that because Trump has huge rallies rallies and boat parades and caravans that, oh, I'm sure he's going to win. I don't need to go and vote. There's plenty of people going and voting. You personally have to go and vote as if you are casting the deciding ballot. It all is up to you. I don't care if you break your leg. Go to the polls and vote first and then go to the hospital. You have to vote as if it's just as important as paying your rent when you're 3 months behind, and if you don't make it, then you're going to get evicted or your house is going to get foreclosed. You have a deadline. You know what you have to do. You have to do it. Get your babysitter lined up. Get ready to leave work early. Plan ahead to get to the polls. And one more thing, and this is very important as well, there's a lot of things on the ballot that you can't vote for by voting straight Republican. Certain positions don't have a party affiliation. Not to mention a lot of the ballot measures have confusing language, and you may not have been following it. You may not want to sit in the voting booth and read through them, or maybe you don't have time to take your voter guide and read through them. So do a Google search for your local city Republican Party official voter guide. Or if you live in a small town or a small city, whatever the largest city is in your area, and they should have a voter guide with all the propositions, which ones to vote for, which to vote against, the judges, all the other positions that don't have a party affiliation. And you might be able to get these if you have a local talk show host that you listen to. A lot of them will have one on their website, so maybe go and check that. But very, very important. Not just to vote for the president and for the House, for the Senate races. You have to vote for your local candidates and local propositions as well. Very important. If Joe Biden wins, we're going to be stuck with President Harris because there's no way that he's going to make it halfway through his first term. And if the Democrats hold on to the House and take back the Senate, because we only have it by just a few seats, there will be nothing to stop them from ramming through their leftist, socialist, communist legislation. Not to mention we would lose the bully pulpit and they will ban President Trump from Twitter because he's going to be a private citizen again and they don't want him tweeting. A vote for President Trump is a vote to get the kids back in school, small businesses to reopen, to revitalize the American spirit and truly make America great again. There's a lot of political rhetoric every election about how it's the most important election of our generation, but not only is this the most important election of our generation, this is the most important political event since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We're just hours away from possibly losing this great republic and having the United States transform into something so horrifying it's worse than anybody can possibly imagine, and only you can save it.
Yep. Some bitches, tuck that away.
Next week may be the end of the world as we know it, but the good news is that from Washington, D.C. to the Vatican, it's also a revenge of clarity. Bill Gates says the second pandemic is coming, oh my, and Francis gives a red hat to the most outspoken Trump basher in the American Catholic Church. Trump signs the Geneva Consensus Declaration, telling the UN pro-aborts to go back to hell where they belong. And finally, Steve Bannon speaks at the Catholic Identity Conference in Pittsburgh, and you won't believe what he said. All that and more tonight from the editor's desk. Hello Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Mack coming to you once again from the offices of the Remnant newspaper, just less than a week out now. The biggest election in really in the world. History of the world.
Listen that now.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I'm in a minority. Lots of folks think that we're going to have a landslide for Trump. I'm not convinced we won't have a landslide the other way, but we'll see. He's still down in the polls, and I just can't believe that the American people are still, pushing the button for this guy, Joe Biden. Because now Uncle Joe, last week we told you that he thought he was running for the U.S. Senate. Now evidently he thinks he's running against George Bush.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of George, is going to find ourselves in a position where...
This poor guy. What's wrong with Mrs. Biden, do you suppose? Why is Mrs. Biden wanting to put her husband through this? And we've been saying for a long time that what Joe Biden is, President Joe Biden will become the monument to the U.S. presidency. And they're going to tear down like they've been tearing all these statues down. And, he thinks he's going to win, maybe so, because if the polls are wrong, Joe Biden is evidently going to win the White House the old-fashioned way. He's going to cheat.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
And the reality is, of course, it doesn't matter who's running against Trump. Pee Wee Herman, it doesn't matter. Trump's running against Kool-Aid drinkers and this guy, Dr. Tony Hale-Bopp Fauci.
But to say that once you get a vaccine, we're going to be free to do whatever we want, that just is not going to happen. I would imagine at least through 2021.
You still buying this? You still actually think this is
another thing? If Trump wins, Dr. Fauci is.
You're still going to vote for Joe Biden because he's going to make it all better?
If Trump wins, Fauci is...
Trump, they're doing everything now.
He is.
Trump's running against
He's
Bill,
gone, buddy.
Never met a pandemic he doesn't like.
Trump wins, he's going to say, "You're fired, Fauci." You fucking idiot.
So
you're fired.
We'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is...
that's another good thing.
We'll get attention this time.
Yeah, one, we get to keep our freedom.
It's suffocating, isn't it? Because they're not going to stop.
Fauci
when you listen to these guys, you realize what they have planned for us. Because you know exactly what Gates, Fauci, these guys, you know what they're actually talking about, right? They're playing with us. Those who are actually educated and still read, they know exactly what's going on. But they're going for the big, dumbed-down middle.
But our freedom is more important than Dr. Fauci getting fired.
Since high school. And
that'll be a plus,
whatever they
freedom's going to be an A+, man.
But we know what's going on. The lockdowns,
but without
masks,
that, we're fucked.
Social distancing, the control, the loss of civil liberties, the closed churches. It's all about one thing.
And I think, it's up to us as citizens to rebuild the world that we want. I think this crisis has exposed some of the gaps around in the United States. And one of those in particular are the gender and the racial inequities. The other thing I would say is not only shows the gaps in the system, it's also showed us
opportunities. Can't hear that over me.
Like the fact that kids could jump online and start learning. We know now it's possible. But all of a sudden, people really said, oh my gosh, to not have to stand in line for my government payment where I might get sick, that is an opportunity we can use, and particularly use to reach low-income families and women on that phone with all kinds of
no, I'm gonna be
cash transfer.
I'm gonna be watching ABL.
More information about when health services are available.
Y'all heard of the Geneva Consensus Declaration? Probably not, because it hasn't made CNN. It hasn't made any news.
If you're talking about the election results,
been going on recently with the Trump administration.
If you're talking about the results of the election, I'll be watching ABL.
The Declaration protects women's health, defends the unborn, and reiterates the vital importance of the family as the foundation of society.
Hey, my brother.
The Declaration restates that there is no international right to an abortion. It goes even further.
Have you heard about that? It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Especially you Catholic members, especially you, Pope Francis. Hey, Pope Francis, you see that? The administration is trying to stop abortion in the world. And what are you doing? What's Uncle Joe doing? Uncle Joe, the Catholic. He's campaigning on abortion.
Considering the new Supreme Court nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, what are your particular plans to protect women's reproductive rights in the U.S.?
Number one, we don't know exactly what she will do, although the expectation is that she may very well move to overrule Roe. But the only responsible response to that would be to pass legislation making Roe the law of the land. That's what I would do.
That should be the end of it, right? The Catholic vote is key. It's vital. In a few days, we're going to go pull the lever. 52% of our brothers and sister Catholics, 50 years after Vatican II, 52% of us are going to vote for Joe Biden. And our Holy Father, Pope Francis, is not defending the unborn. No, he took this opportunity to defend gay unions.
You can't
Francis cementing his reputation as the Pope of surprises, saying in the new documentary Francesco, what we have to create is a civil union law. That way they are legally covered. I stood up for that.
Is he opening the door to gay marriage in the church?
The Pope is not opening up the door to gay marriage being celebrated in a mass, but he's opening up the door to people being approving of same-sex civil unions.
We've been saying for quite a while now that Francis is on the other side. Well, clearly he is, and I don't really care if you don't like that, or if you're afraid of that, or you think I'm causing trouble, or dividing the church for pointing that out. But why don't you tell me how Francis isn't on the other side when in the middle of an election like this, he's doing things like that? You know, it's not just abortion. I mean, the end of the world as we know it could very well be at hand this afternoon. I was invited to be on a press call hosted by Trump 2020 campaign advisor Stephen Miller, who was practically begging the other members of the press on the call to figure it out, to understand that what we're now facing is an invasion such as the world has never seen in 2,000 years. This is what President Joe Biden has in store for our country. And as you listen to this, I want you to think about what it was that eventually crushed the Roman Empire. That was a barbarian invasion, wasn't it?
Biden represents the corrupt Washington establishment,
Will you bring me up pizza?
far left politics has invaded foreign countries and fought foreign wars and enmeshed us in foreign conflicts while having open borders to unlimited migration from the most dangerous places in the world. And you are literally overriding the career professionals and saying, even though this country isn't safe, even though this government isn't cooperating, even though the records are painfully inadequate, we are still going to let people in massive numbers, no matter what happens to our country.
These guys are campaigning on shutting us down, taking away our civil liberties, killing babies, and ushering in a barbarian invasion to shut this country down. And we're terrified of COVID. Do you see the problem here? You call it terrified of this little virus, this little bug that's going to kill you? You know, I'd rather die of COVID than in the new reality, the new normal that these psychopaths have in store for us.
Me too.
And don't forget, you can look it up. Please look it up. Please look up what the survival rate is up to now. It's 99+% of us are going to survive this thing. And yet you are going to vote for somebody who's going to shut us down, cause you to lose your job, kill your grandmother, kill your grandchildren in utero? That's what you're going to do because you're so terrified that you might get sick? Come on, people, wake up. Wake up. Man, only a fraction of one out of every 100,000 inhabitants of this country is going to succumb from COVID, has succumbed from COVID. 1 out of 100,000 of us. As of May 2020, 42% of all COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. had also occurred in nursing homes, primarily in states where governors had forced long-term care facilities to accept infected patients. Do you see what's happening here? According to the CDC, only 6% of the total COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. had COVID-19 listed as the sole cause of death on the death certificate. You can stop being afraid.
I can't remember it.
Remember this Monsignor Charles Pope rather famously got the COVID virus?
Can't remember her name.
When he went in, everybody mocked him because he had questioned the lockdowns. Remember, he went in to the hospital finally, and everybody was talking about it, kind of gleeful that he had gotten it. He recovered months ago. Did you know that? You could Google it. You could read what he's saying right now. Even though he was among the very small percentage that had to go into ICU for a few days, he's writing articles saying, no, we cannot lock the country down over this.
There's a 109-year-old lady that's going to go vote person tomorrow for Trump.
I'm still not going to support what they are doing to us, what they're doing to our children, to our future, to our churches. Why does his testimony
She's voted in person for...
Why doesn't it matter?
Ever since...
He's one she of was able to vote. High-profile people.
She's always voted in person.
Who've recovered, who are now doing just fine.
She's 109-year-old, man.
Do you?
Said she's gonna go out tomorrow and vote for Trump.
Hospital beds.
109-year-old, man.
How can we continue to put
She ain't scared no COVID.
I know it's been hard.
How awesome is that?
People have died. I get it.
I think it's awesome.
COVID
I think
has simply not been hard enough.
I think it's awesome.
To warrant locking us down.
And also, God bless her heart.
Churches, imprisoning our
that's one hell of a lady.
Our children out of schools for God knows how long.
109 years old.
And masked
pandemic going around, and she's going to go vote in person.
Basement.
Tomorrow.
Uncle Joe was telling us that we got to vote by mail. You see,
she's going to vote for freedom
COVID at the
and for God.
Places.
She's going to vote Trump.
Buying this. People are on
I think it's epic,
protests.
Man.
People are going to church all the time. Super spreaders like Sturgis, the motorcycle rally, they come and go, nothing happens. But we can't go to the polling places.
Can't remember what stream I was. I heard the news.
Because we're going to die of the COVID.
I thought that was...
Aren't you just a little bit embarrassed by the fact that you're buying this Barbara Streisand? You see, you know why Biden's doing this? You know why they're doing this? Because COVID is the only chance that Uncle Joe's got. Don't you get it? And this is all part of the plan. This has been the plan since the beginning. Remember when they were talking about 18 months? Well, it looks like they were right. Gates and Fauci warning the world last year already, before anybody had ever heard of the Wuhan virus. That a global pandemic was coming. And now, as we just showed you, Bill Gates is saying, another one's coming. We have become mentally challenged that we're buying into this nonsense.
Somebody needs to take care of Bill Gates.
I mean, they told us that the pandemic was coming before it came. And they started talking about vaccines, and then 18 months of the new normal, shut down the restaurants, shut down the churches, you know? And then knowing that the virus would never, ever prove deadly enough on its own to terrorize the nation into compliance. They started talking
187.
Remember? They started blasting Trump very early on for not testing enough. He doesn't care.
BG.
Remember? Testing. It was like ventilators. And crazy little chatty Cathy dolls pulling their own string. Right? Testing.
That's
Trump administration. They started They started testing like there's no tomorrow. Attempting as best they could
Bill Gates,
to avoid the lynch mob on cable TV, to avoid the political fallout from not testing enough.
It's a way of saying somebody killed Bill Gates.
And guess what happened?
It's cold.
The number of cases went up. Cases went high because they found fragments of COVID, which is exactly what they were looking for. People weren't sick, they weren't dying, but the cases went up. They're not even scaring us with the virus anymore. It's just the cases. They're not scaring us with death. They're not scaring us with ventilators. Just cases. More cases. Cases are coming to get you. Oh my.
Referring to kill President Trump.
And all the while, the death rate from this thing has been plummeting. What about this do you not understand? And now even when the percentage of positive test results is dropping, they're still out night after night, scaremongering, ramping up the fear. Joe Biden is campaigning right now, for the first time probably in the history of the world, on your fear. No positive message, no hope and change, no Morning in America speeches. He's campaigning on the fear they've instilled in you, using their media machine for 8 months. He's campaigning on it.
And what are they telling us now?
That's all he's
We're
got.
gonna run out of hospital beds. Here it comes.
They don't say what he's going to do.
Never mind that we didn't run out of hospital beds back in March and April at the height of the pandemic. This time, we're going to run out of hospital beds. And you're going to die in the street trying to get into your hospital bed. Or you're going to get your ventilator. That's going to save your life. We're buying this. Don't you see what's going on here? It's a game. It's all a game. It's a charade. It's bait and switch. It's Halloween.
Creepy Uncle Joe.
Oh, it's funny. It's Joe.
Y'all seen that commercial?
Come on, man. Candy's for the kids. Wait a minute. You look familiar. Who are you?
I had a joke about Eric Bad mask off, take the mask off and was Kamala Harris and takes all her candy and then walks away.
That clip's trying to be funny. To me, it's deadly serious. That's exactly what's going to happen. As soon as this old goat gets in there, he's gone. And we got our first female president. Ever notice this? They're the most racist, sexist party, the Democrats. All I care about is race. All I look at is skin color. Remember, we were supposed to be colorblind. That's what Martin Luther King told us. But all we care about is Biden chose a woman. Biden chose a black woman. And that's supposed to show progress. To me, that shows regress. I don't know where it's all going to end. You know, people say the polls are wrong. Are the polls wrong? How do the polls get it so wrong in 2020? I mean, how do they retain any credibility if they pull another 2016 whopper? I don't know that the polls are so dead wrong. Trump's out there campaigning awful hard, and Joe's sitting in his basement like he doesn't care, like he knows he's going to win. I'm trying real hard to stay positive. From what I can see, Donald Trump needs nothing less than a miracle. You know, as the Democrats are going to cheat. Obviously, they're well into that already. Half the Republicans hate Trump. Yeah, you saw that the mega nuns the other night at the rally in Ohio. And some character named Vroom or something outs all these beautiful nuns, tells everybody where they lived. I'm going to throw it up on the screen, draws a red line to show exactly who these nuns were that were backing Trump.
That's good.
And then he tells everybody where they are. Now, why would he do that? Unless he was hoping some peaceful protesters were going to show up outside the nuns' convent, you see? But this guy was a Republican.
Somebody
this Vroom guy.
Put his
The UN's trying to stop
so they
with all the power in the world, all the money in the world, the WHO, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, Big Tech, even the Vatican. They're all working night and day to defeat this guy. And we're out there going, it's going to be a landslide. God, I hope so. I pray to God that you're right.
I do too.
You know, Francis just made Wilton Gregory a cardinal. Everybody's talking about Russian interference. So what about Vatican interference? Been saying that for 5 months too. The Vatican is interfering in the U.S. election. Why is no one cared about it? No one cares. They just gave the red hat to a guy who made international headlines a little while ago by blasting Donald Trump as the nation descended into chaos and Trump tried to remind us all about God. Think about that. You know, this is the most pro-life administration in the history of our country since Roe versus Wade. And Pope Francis taps the most anti-Trump bishop in America to get the red hat. You see? See what's going on here? How is this not Vatican interference in the U.S. elections? So Trump's got a heck of a fight ahead of him. We all do. What are we going to do? Well, obviously, we're going to get ready for war. We're going to stay positive, but we're getting ready for war. A war that's going to last a long time. And some of you were surprised that we brought in Steve Bannon to last week's Catholic Identity Conference in Pittsburgh. That conference, by the way, was a huge, huge success.
Hey everyone, Tess Mullins again, producer here at Remnant TV. If you'd like to see Mr. Bannon's speech from this year's Catholic Identity Conference, as well as Michael Matz, Dr. Stephen Mosier's, and so many others, just go to remnantnewspaper.com right now and sign up for the entire CIC video on demand package. The CIC was a huge success, and you won't be disappointed. So that's remnantnewspaper.com. Just click the banner and sign up and start watching right now. Thanks so much.
Take a look at Steve Bannon here, and you tell me why. You tell me why I shouldn't welcome this guy. You shouldn't welcome this guy to our fires here on this side of the battlefield anytime.
Oh, right. It's not just the Catholics voting for Biden. It's look at what the Pope's talking about with this Green New Deal and this really return to neo-paganism.
I heard what Vigano has to say about
with many people in the church, and look at the church. Look, I came from a working class Catholic family. I was a altar boy, and my parents were the first parents that fought to get Latin Mass back in the diocese we're in, the Diocese of Virginia, and really went and formed the first church of Tridentine Catholics, because they and my dad's 99 and he's a Latin Mass devotee. He's a guy that actually thinks EWTN's gotten a little liberal. Just kidding, EWTN.
I don't know what it is. Or what it is.
No, but I mean he's a big believer. I mean he's a guy who goes to the remnant every day. But this is the point. A smaller group of dedicated people that live this and fight for it every day is what is necessary, and that's why this conference is so important. That's why the meaning of this conference. And look at the speakers. You unite that power of these speakers and you put an action plan in back of this, we can do mighty work.
Something good is happening right now that's going to transcend this election. It's going to go on for a long, long time. Because what we're watching is the total disintegration of the middle, of the status quo. It's the end of the squishy middle ground, both in this country and in the Catholic Church. And that's the silver lining. That's the good news. This can't go on forever, and it won't. We're also witnessing what I call the revenge of clarity. History is going to cast this character, Francis, as the great clarifier, right? He's made it very clear to everyone what's going on here. And Francis is like the Joe Biden of popes. Thanks to him, papolatry is dead. That's great news. And everyone with eyes to see now knows what the revolution of modernism in the Catholic Church was all about. Which is why we get so impatient with those who say it was just a snobby little preference for Latin in our liturgy. Drives me nuts. Because what we were fighting for, what my father was fighting, what my grandfather was fighting, Michael Davis was fighting, Archbishop Lefebvre, what they were all fighting for.
I got to fast tomorrow.
Was the social reign of Christ the King against this rise of a new
I don't know how to fast.
Order.
I know it's where you don't eat.
Order. That's it. That's what it is. That's what it's been all along. And for 500 years, these same forces have been trying to destroy Christendom. Why? Because they need to destroy the monarchy. They need to destroy the Christian confessional states. Why? Because they needed the church to be out of the way in order to make room for the New World Order that's rising up before us right now. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's been going on for a long, long time. And here, politics and geopolitics, this guy, Donald Trump, has smoked out the same modernist, Christophobic, anti-Christians with whom we as traditional Catholics have been at war for a long time. More than half a century. You see, these are the one-worlders. Been trying again to undermine, infiltrate the Catholic Church for centuries, but especially over the past 100 years. And the Trump phenomenon has forced the deep state and the deep church to go public with their unholy alliance, and the ranks of the children of light are swelling because of it. This is what Archbishop Fellow Vigano has been saying constantly. That's why he's so supportive of Donald Trump, because he sees this through the Christocentric lens. And he sees the hand of God in this. And he sees who Trump's enemies are. And he says, those are our enemies. Those are the enemies of the church. You see? That's why we've been supporting this guy. Not because of his personal holiness, but because of who his enemies are. And Steve Bannon's the same way. And in his case, he publicly credited traditionalists, the remnant, with having been in this fight, the fight that he's now fighting, for a long time, from the start, in fact. Check this out.
But I'm particularly honored to be introduced by Michael Matt, because the Matt family shows, with their 150-year commitment to traditional Catholic journalism and excellence in journalism, what that unbroken chain means.
You know, what are we supposed to do? Wait for men to become angels and saints before we allow them to jump down into this foxhole with us? I don't think so. Lots of folks are jumping into the foxhole right now. Praise God for that. And we can continue the discussion, theological discussions, as we go along. The point is, we're all standing against demons all of a sudden, and isn't it nice to not be alone anymore? You know, Francois Charette, the great general of the Vendée in France, the great opposition of the French Revolution, the leader of the Vendéans, you know, he had mistresses. He was certainly no saint. He didn't just pop off a holy card, believe me, when he joined the Royal and Catholic Army. And he beat back the godless French Revolution. He gave his life to do that, and finally he dies a martyr's death for the holy cause of altar and throne. He was no saint when he got started in that campaign. Lots of us now are going to start waking up. Lots of people are going to follow the same route. When you realize you're up against demons, well, you better try to fight them not just with swords, but with prayer and fasting and penance and the spiritual weapons as well. See, because we're all sinners and we're all flawed. And Bannon himself pointed this out at the Catholic Identity Conference last weekend.
You know, you couldn't find two more imperfect instruments than Donald J. Trump and Stephen K. Bannon. On that, I will guarantee you. But Donald J. Trump represents an absolutely existential threat to the globalist system. And what that threat is you. He actually gives the forgotten man and woman. He gives the traditionalist. He gives working class and middle class Catholics and working class and middle class Christians a seat at the table. And to be in the room and be in the deal.
Bottom line is this, friends, we're running out of time, so I'm going to cut it short on a positive note, despite the fact that we're all apprehensive about next week. But the bottom line is this. Whether every soldier out here on the battlefield realizes it or not, the reign of the Antichrist will have found its foundation in this new world order that we all see right now. And you don't have to be a traditional Catholic to see that, to recognize that. Powerful people in high places have declared war on the enemies of the cross. And rather than shun them because they're broken vessels like the rest of us, we need to carry this banner of Christ the King out onto the battlefield, meet them halfway, shake their hand, and welcome them to the fight. Why? Because this is a holy war against this ape of God, which is waging a global campaign right now to eradicate Christianity from the face of the earth. We need to fight back. And no matter what happens next Tuesday, friends, hold it together. Don't lose it if we don't win. Because this isn't the end of the war. This is the beginning, no matter what happens. And thank God now, as the battle lines are so clear, we're no longer alone in the trenches, as many of us have been and many of us have felt for a long, long time. It's not the case anymore. The blindfolds have been removed, thanks be to God. And we must not measure our success by the degree to which we remain insignificant in our ghettos and pose no threat to the enemies of God. It's time to come out of the ghettos. It's time to leave the safety of the catacombs, go up topside and fight like hell, because hell is what we're up against. God wills this. Everything is becoming clear. Traditionalism is being completely vindicated right now. The smoke has lifted, and the battle lines are clearly drawn right now. So keep praying, keep fighting, and be confident that no matter what happens next week, the clans are uniting. If God is for us, friends, who really cares who's against us? I'm Michael Matt for Remnant TV, and we'll see you next week.
the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Well, we come now to the Feast of All Saints. We've come to the month of November. We've also had that daylight saving time change.
That one?
Out.
Yeah. Right down.
To the Feast of All Saints. We've come to the month of November.
It disappeared.
We've also had that daylight saving time change.
Well,
fell back an hour, and no wonder you all look so rested here at Mass. Don't you wish, by the way, that every year we could fall back an hour but never have to spring forward? I don't know what that would look like after 5 years of that, but we'd all be a little better rested. But now that we're into November, we start thinking about holidays and holy days.
I don't know what he's going to say, so
it's in this month of November that we have one of the most important national holidays, Thanksgiving. And I particularly love this national holiday because it has a religious basis. It was declared first by President Abraham Lincoln in the midst of the Civil War, which was so bloody, and a war fought on our own soil, so badly divided us. And in the midst of the Civil War, President Lincoln declared that we should pause for one day to give thanks to God for the bounty which we enjoy in this wonderful nation.
It was today, but it don't tell me.
So even the holiday, in a sense, has very real sense, a religious origin.
The time.
And for us, we keep it with that religious significance as well. So we have that holiday in November, and then about a month later we have one of the two greatest feasts of the church, a holy day, that of Christmas. And because we have a holiday and a holy day now, in the near future, the state has formally, officially issued directives, regulations, restrictions related to the holiday of Thanksgiving and the holy day of Christmas. And I'm going to read some of these. This comes from the state. In any of these holiday or holy day gatherings where there is more than the immediate household, and I'm quoting now, the host of the gathering must collect all names and addresses of those attending. All gatherings must be held outside. You can go to the bathroom inside if the bathroom is frequently sanitized. All seating must be socially distanced. All food must be in a single-serve disposable dish. You must wear a mask at all times unless you are eating. You can only gather for 2 hours maximum. Singing is discouraged, but if you must sing, you must wear a mask and sing below a standard speaking voice.
That's true.
Finally, indoor worship services are prohibited. Doesn't that sound like something straight out of hell, written by demons in anticipation of a religious holiday and a religious holy day, times of family and faith? It sounds like something straight out of hell, written by demons. But it actually comes from,
I call them Democrats,
political leaders in the state of California. So being outdoors might not be as bad in California at Christmas time as being outdoors in Minnesota. But this, what I read to you, is quoted directly from the California regulations in anticipation of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And you know, we're not that far here in Minnesota from California. And I don't mean numbers of miles. I mean in political leadership. It was just this past Friday that the two candidates of the two major parties running for the office of the President of the United States came to Minnesota, a key state in this election, a possible swing state. Both came on Friday, but with regards to the one, namely the President of the United States, our political leadership, including the governor and the attorney general, took steps in advance to ensure that rather than the anticipated 25,000 Minnesotans who intended to be present outdoors at an airport to hear a president speaking days before the election, these political leaders of our state took actions to ensure no more than 250 Minnesotans could be present. So thousands and thousands and thousands of Minnesotans who are supposed to have the freedom to hear what is said through the freedom of speech by the President of the United States of America were denied that opportunity. And so far as I know, we are the only state that has done that to the President of the United States of America. And shame on our leaders. And by the way, we have the other national humiliation. I mean, the only state with a city in which our leadership forced our law enforcement to abandon a police precinct, forced them to stand down and abandoned it. We are a national disgrace. But that is just a taste of what is in store if this election goes badly. It's just a taste. And it is no exaggeration to say that this election, Tuesday of 2020, is more important than any other election in the history of our nation,
in the world,
and in the history of the entire world. Since man and women have been upon the face of the earth,
I knew it.
Through all generations and societies and peoples and races, there has never been an election more important. Because there is a radical element, and we know who they are. They've been burning down our cities, our buildings, and looting and killing. There are those who are seeking to seize this election and power to have a worldwide government and tyranny. And I'm not the only one saying this. And it's not only Americans who recognize this. I have spoken of Archbishop Vigano, who has written 3 open letters to the President of the United States of America. He was a very powerful Vatican official at one point, perhaps 3rd highest below the Pope. He was our nuncio, the representative of the Pope in our nation for years, so he has a love and affection for our nation and a concern for our nation and also the world. And he has described the war that is taking place and what is at stake in this election as the war between the children of darkness and the children of light. Those who seek to bring the darkness of the kingdom of Satan here on earth, of tyranny and oppression and godlessness, and the children of light who seek to bring the light of Christ and truth and freedom, true freedom, are at war. And the Archbishop and others have said, if freedom is lost in the United States of America in this election, and it is on the ballot, very much so, if it is lost, soon the entire world will be under tyranny.
No, I didn't defend that.
The entire world. You realize what's at stake with your vote, your personal vote in this? That much, the entire world. There have been tyrants in generations, centuries, and millennia past. None could achieve world domination. The Roman Empire could not rule the entire world. The Greeks could not rule the entire world. The Persians before them, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Egyptians, they all had tyrants. But they didn't have the means to rule the entire world, only their empires, as far as they could expand them.
Because I'm from the South.
But with technology and all that goes with it, a few today could literally rule the world. And if that happens, friends, we are in the apocalypse. Trust me. And if that's God's will, there's nothing that we can do to stop that. But short of that, we can put a stop to this attempt to bring down the one obstacle, and that is our nation. Bring down this one obstacle, our nation and its democracy.
No, I didn't say.
Bring it down in this election to make way for a one world government and a worldwide tyranny. I've spoken on this for weeks, trying to persuade, and now I have no more to say from the pulpit before the election. The time for persuading has passed. The time for acting is now. If you have not yet voted, and I have in person, then you must vote. Unless you happen to be somebody who accidentally stumbled in here and you have a badly formed conscience, then stay home and sleep for the next week or two. But I don't see anybody like that here right now. But if you have a Catholic conscience, a godly conscience, then you vote. And you don't let anything stop you. The enemies, that is the children of darkness, have already said they are going to bring violence into our cities and streets to intimidate us or use other means. They will attempt to slow down the election process. It'll be naturally slowed down because of all the restrictions on distancing and indoor numbers. So perhaps you might want to vote tomorrow in person, but regardless, you vote. And if you have to stand in line for 4 hours on election day, well, I deployed 4 times during the Iraq War to protect this nation. You can stand in line for 4 hours if that's what it takes. But vote. Every single vote counts in the most important election in the history of the world. And finally, continue to pray. For weeks, I and others have been urging the faithful to pray at least a rosary every day. And you'll have to continue that not only through Tuesday, but thereafter, because there will be attempts to steal this election by the children of darkness. We know it's already happening, and it will continue. So our prayers will have to continue. And remember this, too, on this Feast of All Saints, and I've said this before. We're not electing perfect saints to office. So far as I know, there's no perfect saint on the ballot. That is not required to be somebody worthy of consideration of our vote. We vote for those who are godly enough that they will protect unborn lives and the elderly from destruction by abortion, euthanasia. We vote for those who at least will allow us the freedom to practice Catholicism as we have a right. So while not having perfect saints or even all Catholics, there are men and women who are godly enough, who stand on platforms that are suitable and worthy of our votes as Catholics. The time for persuasion has ended, at least from this pulpit. Time for voting is now. Of course, it is always a time of prayer. So in these final hours leading up to the election, pray, pray, and pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
fix the motherfucking piece of shit. I wanted to play something else before I left, but now I can't get the damn thing. Click on it.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
For 4 years, I've been trying to stop this man because if he strengthens America, if he makes it great again, if he brings the economy back again, the reset won't happen. The New World Order is going to be set way back. Who knows when they're going to have another COVID opportunity like this one again, and they know it.
Well,
so ask yourself why they hate this man. These folks, these men, they hate God. They hate the unborn. They hate the...
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't change, did it? Damn. Oh well. Take it away. There you go, bye. I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna play a couple more songs, then I'm gonna go. Hey, bad boy.
Ooh. Back on the gang, same thing on the gang. Somebody gotta do it. 94 crime bill, that was Joe Biden. Still need to lock up Hillary Rodham. Twitter and Instagram, I know they watching. Maga was a young, so you know I'm bobbing. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. 2-8 crazy, so you know I got it in impeachment. Failed to high coronavirus. MAGA gang, CAD gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang. LGBT try to get me canceled. Know when you go against the grain, they ban you. You gotta follow line, well, that's what they demand you. If you don't like me, then you better change the channel. But wait, don't listen to me, just watch CNN and it's all good. Let them tell you about how Bill Gates' father basically ran Planned Parenthood. Or tell you about a pedophilia going on in Hollywood. Or tell you how it's all connected. Wait, did you really think they would? Hold on, ooh, bet you can't do it like me. Too real, so the blue tails on RT. I don't do this for money, I do it for free. And I do it for you, cause they do it for me. Wait, got a beat real quick. Hold on, let me get them. Somebody gotta tell the truth. Trans women ain't real women. And marriage between a man and a woman ain't new. If you think different, then you must never read the Bible, or you just a fake Christian. Hey, I'm a bad boy, can't stop, won't stop. 2-8 crazy, so I got my God. Everybody scared to say the truth, I'm not. Somebody said the song, you can let me stir the pot. They winning with all this deception. We know that life really starts at conception. Abortion is murder, it should be illegal, and I don't think there should be any exceptions. Nope, ooh, I do not bend my beliefs. Really time to separate the real from the weak. TikTok conservatives like liberals when they speak. That's why social media try to ban me. Hey, that's why they trying to stop my speech. Hey, that's why they trying to stop my reach. Hey, they don't wanna let me teach. Hey, cause when I do it's preach. MAGA gang, CAD gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang. Ooh. Hey, ooh. Holla, ooh. Hey, ooh, okay, one more time, look. Hey, 94 crime bill, that was Joe Biden. Still need to lock up Hillary Rodham. Twitter and Instagram, I know they watching. MAGA wasn't young, so you know I'm bobbing. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. Ooh, you know the Trump train ain't stopping. 2A crazy, so you know I got it in impeachment. Feeling how I come coronavirus. MAGA gang, CAD gang, you know it's the same thing. And I'm on the right side, you know I can't lane change. They say I'm too controversial, sorry, but I can't change. If you scared to say the truth, then sorry, but you can't hang.
No compromises. Powerful or easy? How about both? How about a C or a...
Wow. Yo, man. Hey, try to the 20, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they trying to shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rub that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win an election. Easy on my feet, so I make a stepping. Tell all the liberals I'm keeping my weapon. Been making hatches and showing my flesh. I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. Start the beat, ayy, I'm gon' keep it simple. They let Planned Parenthood stay open, but said churches were an essential. And I know it's hard to keep your faith in God, but it seems like the world against you. But that word is too official, like a referee with a whistle. I'm not a victim, cause I am a victim. Not a loser, cause I am a winner. And they say I'm a sellout because they disagree. Call me cool, Uncle Time, but at least I can say I'm free. Yo, ayy, try to the 20, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they trying to shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rub that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win an election. Easy on my feet, so I make a stepping. Tell all the liberals I'm keeping my weapon. Been making hatches and showing my flesh. I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. Ay, try to the 20, I'm about that. Touch my head, I doubt that. 2A never go without that. These they trying to shut us down, but I know we gon' bounce back. I rub that red, white, and blue. Just watch how we bounce back. Can't wait to see this when we win an election. Easy on my feet, so I make a stepping. Tell all the liberals I'm keeping my weapon. Been making hatches and showing my flesh. I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh.
I'm screaming Trump 2020 or Christ 21, cause the way this shit heading, Armageddon finna come. I ain't dumb, I can see the writing on the wall. I ain't talking about the wall by Mexico. No, I'ma let them know. Since you wanna talk about a war, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how Barack and Hillary were all about it. Let's talk about how Obama had them kids in cages first. Oh, let's not, cause when I talk about truth, you get your feelings hurt. Obama wouldn't let him through. Guess he was a racist too, but he can't because he black. No matter what he say or do. And while we on the subject of that fuck yeah, how come he can go to church but you won't let the public? Shut the fuck up, where kissing cages shit is crazy. When Candace Owens has to show them that they live in Swayze. Speaking Swayze, Hollywood should got a lot to say about Donald J, but then they plead the fifth when little kids get bought as slaves. I'm getting so tired of the truth being called conspiracy.
Yeah, they ain't no party no more.
If I have to, I don't think you hear me. I give a fuck how many fans I lose from this. I'm on a mission, so that come with Judas. Get out, move, bitch. I don't give a flying fuck. Word up, another million views for the dude that they ain't heard of. Why they heard up the masses in the master plan? They had the money up, the money make our country cashless. Half the shit I share on Facebook gets deleted faster than the tweets. At least deleting about the shit they eating. Tell them BOZ the dick. Think I'm playing if you want. Mama praying for a son, cause the snakes around them that'll happen.
trap.
Never ever watch shit, bang it through your speaker, yeah. All they do is fuel the fire that divide us while these fat jackets on what unite us. Man, the time has come to draw a line in the sand. Boy, it's time to be a man. Attacking masculinity, so you ain't got the balls to stand. No, I will not retreat. Joe, by me defeat for America. Kiss goodbye to the land of the free. If that little girl sniffing pedo gets into position of a president, it's evident what's next is socialist. And I ain't working all day to give you most of what I'm at. So folks, you stay at home and make the same. I make no fucking way. This ain't hard to understand. If you want it, go and get it. That's what makes America great, even though they won't admit it. And I've been thinking, if America is such a shitty place, why so many people risk their lives to get into the States? And why so many people fighting for illegals anyway? If it's so bad, then why aren't you warning them to stay away? So many double standards, I'm impressed that you can keep them straight. Especially when I know how bad you waste the thought to keep it straight. It's like I'm all for liking women, man, identify as women. Ain't no truth no more. Speak back, so all I get back is opinion. I ain't here to hear your feelings, say that shit for therapy. Cause where I see this country's going bad, and I can clearly see. So it's Trump 2020, or Christ 21. Cause the way this shit heading, I'm getting finna come. I ain't dumb, I can see the writing on the wall. And I ain't talking about the war by Mexico. Boy, I'ma let them know that Trump 2020, or Christ 21. Cause the way this shit heading, I'm getting finna come. I ain't dumb, I can see the writing on the wall. And I ain't talking about the war by Mexico. I'ma let them know.
Yeah.
When he speaks, it makes you wonder. He doesn't even know what he wants to say. And we know he likes the girls a whole lot younger. Biden's gonna lose to 45. There's nothing anyone can do. Democrats won't survive. It doesn't really matter who you talk to. A liberal mind you cannot teach them. And Chuck and Nancy, they don't have a clue. I guess they're gonna try another impeachment. Biden's gonna lose to 45.
Oh yeah, I want to do this.
Press the switch and out just in time. Karen, you're annoying, you're a big joke, screaming in the store, trying to be a good sheep all day. You got cloth on your face, want a mandate, spreading your fear all over the place and saying, we will mock you. We will mock you. Call me with a trust fund, dumb, crying in the street, gonna defund police someday. You got cloth on your face, it won't stop Mace. Watching you fail brings a smile to my face. We will mock you.
Being a restaurant manager is tough. Luckily, I have 7 shifts to make my life easier. Now I can easily schedule and more time back to focus on my...
I mean, we don't own anything. Your government owns everything. Yeah. They say it's tax deferred. That is not your retirement plan. That's the retirement plan for your government. Because as soon as you take that money out when you retire, guess what you going to stay tax bracket because you don't want to pay no more taxes. Everything that's going wrong with this company is because of a Democrat. But hey, we got
try to catch coronavirus.
In California, New York, y'all know why y'all's gas so high? Taxes. Didn't know that, did you, dummy? Hey, but we got a quick fix for this. Trump 2020. Yeah. That was a damn good show. Go to officialharsh20.com and pick you out.
I see y'all later.